Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, I want to show you how to accurately calculate the interest in the line of credit when doing velocity banking. So if you don't know what velocity banking is, go ahead and click the link to Velocity Banking 101 down below and then come back to this video. And so you'll notice in many of the videos, I actually do what I would call cowboy math, which is kind of semi um, estimate the interest accrued while doing velocity banking and kind of doing semi-inaccurate um, calculations, but to the point where it's really easy to understand, right? So in this video, I'm actually going to do it to a more accurate T, but there's going to be a lot that goes into it. So I know when I do velocity banking, I just create like a couple columns and then I subtract like the balance by the cash flow. So if this is like 23 grand, this goes down 3,000 every single month. It doesn't go down 3,000 every single month. It's goes down by 3,000, and then you got to take into account the interest. And I kind of do that in a separate column, and then I just add the interest at the end, which is not accurate, right? But it's accurate enough. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna accurately, or more accurately, if that's even a word, calculate the interest, how it accrues in a line of credit. So what we do is when we're doing velocity banking and we're kind of skipping steps, again, if you want to see all the steps, go down to Velocity Banking 101 down below, is first thing we got to do the budget, right? So the budget we have right here, 10 grand, 13 grand loan. We paid it off to the line of credit. That's 23 grand. And that's going to be our starting balance on the line of credit. And we're being charged 15% interest, right? Now, normally in many of the other videos, we just say, oh, it goes down 3 grand because that's the cash flow. We put our entire paycheck in, and then we take off our expenses and we say, oh, it goes down, 20 grand, and 17 grand, which is not technically correct, right? Because we have to take into account the interest, like I said. So what we do is in month zero, it's going to be a little bit different from the subsequent months. Month zero, yes, the ending balance is going to be 20 grand because the interest calculates when the first statement appears. So in month zero, that first statement isn't there yet, but let's go ahead and do this. So we put 5 grand into our line of credit, take out 2 grand, and it's going to go down 3 grand, 20,000. That's the ending balance. Okay. Now, I've added more columns so that we can accurately calculate the interest, right? So this is month zero. So what is the average daily balance? That's something we don't know. That's actually variable, right? This is why we can never really calculate to the T what the interest accrued is. It's more about the concept that we have to understand. But the average daily balance, which is actually how the bank uses to calculate the interest, is going to be somewhere between 23 grand and 20 grand, right? So we're just going to make up a number, and it depends on your circumstances, but we'll just say 21 grand is the interest. I'm just making it up, right? So now, once month zero has passed, then you're at month one, which is when you get your first statement. And you can see the statement balance here, how it's calculated. It's calculated by the last month's ending balance. So this is 20 grand plus the interest from the average daily balance. So let's go ahead and calculate the average daily balance, right? So all it is the you just do a formula J2 times the interest rate, which is 15%, and you could see it right here, 15% interest rate, okay, times the number of days in the month of the last statement balance, or the last month or the previous month. So that depends on the month. It could be February, it could be 28 days, it could be 30 days, it could be 31. I'm just going to put 30 and just assume every month is 30. But you, again, if you want to calculate to the T and see how the bank calculates it, then actually put the number of days in a month. And then you divide it by 365, right? So again, it's actually the interest rate divided by 365 to get the daily interest rate, the way that it gets calculated. But again, I just put it divided by 365 at last because of the order of operations and how that works. Because if I put, divide 365 first here and then put multiplication, it's going to screw it up unless I put like the right parentheses. But this is still the same thing. All right, so now we see that the interest accrued for from month zero when we got the first statement is $258. Okay. Now this, so let's calculate statement balance. It's 20,000, which is the previous month's ending balance, plus the interest accrued, which is going to be the statement balance for month one. Okay. So now that's going to be I2 plus L3. Okay. And now the beauty of this is that now the statement balance is essentially the starting balance, right? So we're just going to copy the value from for this one to K2, or I'm sorry, K3. And this is going to help us kind of figure out what's going on. So now what we're going to do is we added the interest to the starting balance, and then, you know, once we've kind of paid off, right? We've paid off, or I'm sorry, we've, you know, for this month, we dump our entire paycheck in, take off our expenses. Now, all we do to get the ending balance is subtract 3,000. So this is a little bit more accurate now. So now this is H3 minus 3,000, right? So we just subtract, now we subtract our cash flow, and this is going to be a little bit more accurate. Okay. Right. Now, what is our average daily balance? We don't know, right? So it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle here. I'm just going to pay 18 grand. Again, it's an arbitrary number. It's going to differ based on your personal situation. Okay. But now all we do is we essentially just copy the formulas. Okay. So I just copy this, right? And we can just copy this. So now the thing that we're going to manually have to type in is that average daily balance going forward. Okay. So what's our average daily balance? I don't know. I'm just going to put 15,000. And then we just copy it again, right? Oopsie. And then we copy it again. And then here, what's our average daily balance? It's between these two numbers. I don't know, 12,700, right? And then we do it again. And then we do it again. And then average daily balance, that would be, I don't know, between 11 to 8. I'll just say 10,000. Again, it depends on when you actually take out the expenses and how long it's there during in the line of credit, right? And so now let's go ahead and do this. Okay. I'll say for this one, I'll say 6,500 is the average daily balance. And then we do this, and we do this, and the average daily balance is maybe 4,000. And then we do this, and then we do this, and the average daily balance is, I don't know, 1,700. And then we do this, and we do this. Okay. So the average daily balance, so obviously it can't, the ending balance can't be a negative. I'll just put this to 0. Is going to be, we'll say like 15 bucks or something like that, right? And then now we do this. Okay. And so our starting balance is actually just going to be the 18-cent interest. So the ending balance, again, is going to be 0 because we're going to pay off that 18 cents. And there's not actually going to be an average daily balance because it's going to be solely based. So when you've paid off the principal and you pay off that interest, the average daily balance isn't a factor anymore if the interest is the only thing you have to pay. Now, again, if that doesn't make sense, don't try to think about it too much. But every time there's a payment in a credit card or a loan, just realize your payment is split into two portions. One is the interest part that you always have to pay, and then one is, well, actually, okay. So one is a principal part, meaning the actual part of the loan, and then one is the interest. Now, it doesn't really matter if you're dumping your entire paycheck in it, but it's just realized there's like one bucket for interest and one bucket for the actual loan itself, and the bucket for interest has to be paid off every single month, right? So I hope that makes sense. But now let's see how long this took. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 9 months. So look at 9 months. We only have to pay 18 cents, and then we'll do a sum of all the interest. So let's kind of sum this up, right? So you click the sum button right here, and we paid $1,096.21. I think when I do the cowboy math way, it's actually more expensive because I'm actually overestimating the interest because it's based on like the starting balance rather than the average daily balance. Again, we don't know that. And sometimes you have to kind of make a, I don't want to say sacrifice, but a trade-off of simplicity versus like accuracy. And that's why I don't like to be too accurate, but at least I want to make one video of how to accurately calculate the interest on a line of credit. So we have to know the starting balance, the ending balance of the previous months, and this is actually more important, the average daily balance. And then we calculate the interest. And then so the statement balance is always last month's ending balance plus the interest from the average daily balance. So if this helps you, which it doesn't actually for me, like I kind of know it, but I don't like to share it this way. That's why I'm making this video. But just realize, like, if you do it the other way, where it's just like going down 3,000 and then doing the interest separately and just adding at the end, it's almost the same thing. Although this one actually shows you we pay less interest than in the other way, right? The other way, we're actually overestimating the interest a little bit, but it's mostly the same. Again, it's more about the concept of being able to pay off debts quickly and controlling your cash flow, right? And not paying much interest. I think some people get so caught up of, maybe saving a couple pennies. And in fact, here's the thing. If I had to, pay just a little bit more, but have easy access to my cash and money, I'm okay with it. And that's the whole point of interest, right? The reason why we pay interest is the bank is charging us to use their money. The question is are we using it effectively, or are we, doing things like paying mortgages that they say are 3 to 6%, but we're actually paying 50 to 100% at the end of the term of the loan, right? So, okay. So I hope this was helpful for you. But if not, and you're really confused, go to Velocity Banking 101 down below and come back here if you want a real accurate way of calculating the interest. All right. Have a great day, everybody, and we will speak next time. And also, if you're interested in joining our group, go ahead and click the Google Form link below. Again, if you do, click the Google Form link below. Hope to speak to you soon. Have a great day.